Hello, welcome to the It's All Good show. Lucas here for a chat. My name is Denise Belisle, and I'm a serenity expert. Every week I come here with amazing guests, and this week won't be any exception. I don't know how that talk is going to turn out, but I know when I had a pre-call with Lori, it was chat, 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 and so much connection. So I think you will enjoy this episode because it's going to be amazing. But before we go there, let's talk about why I call this show It's All Good. Well, first of all, I know it's backward, but it's my cup. It's all good. It's my favorite cup, first of all, because it's huge. Look how big that is. And I always have lots of water in there. Water is good for you. Drink lots of water. And also, it's something I say all the time. I didn't realize it when before I made that connection with the cup that I always say that because life is unpredictable. There's a series of unpredictable things that happen in your life that if you stop yourself and complain about all these unpredictable things, you'll be miserable. So all I say myself is when things happen, regardless of what that is, it's all good. It's like I was planning to go to Hawaii in beginning of September, but guess what? Laina doesn't exist anymore, so I won't go. And I'm sad, but it's all good. Something better is going to happen. So, I mean, there's things like that that happen in your life that is it worth crying over? And maybe the universe opened up something totally different for me to do in September as opposed to lay on the beach in Maui. So life is good. So I can't complain about the past. Mind you, now the future, I had a plan for the future and it changed. And am I going to cry over that? No. I'm going to say, hey, I'm opening myself to new adventure, to something else that'll come my way. So that's why when I say it's all good, it's like things in the future might be different for you. Things in the past might be, something you suffered for or you think it's bad, but in reality, it's all good. So open your eyes, see the future and the past as something that doesn't exist because the past is past, the future is not there, and live today to the best of your possibility. So now my guest, Lori, I mean, she's amazing. She's a CEO and founder of Zen Rabbit. Already just with Zen, I love it. And she is an amazing woman, and I'm welcoming her right now. So welcome, Lori. I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
I know we have such similar philosophies, so I'm really excited about this conversation.
yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of good chit chat in this talk, and we'll have to limit ourselves to at least 45 minutes, but we'll do our best. But before I go there, I just want to let people know also where to find all these episodes. I forgot to mention that. So if you go on YouTube, you have youtube.com/ at Denise Belisle. You'll find all my previous episodes. I'm within my third year now. I celebrated my second year a couple of weeks ago. So now I'm in my third year of this program, which I'm super excited. So all the other episodes out there. And if you want to have a chat with me, if you find that, first of all, whatever I say, you want to know more about me and you'd like to maybe be a guest on the show, book a call with me and I'll be more than happy to see you. So let's get started now. So Lori, tell me a little bit about yourself. So where are you? Where you come from as of your way of thinking and how you created the Zen Rabbit. So give me a little overview of who you are. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, that's such a difficult question to answer because we all have so much, so much history and
Yeah.
experience. So, yeah. So, first, I'll start with saying that geographically, I'm coming to you from Northern Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And from a career standpoint, I'm reluctant to say how many years of experience in marketing and corporate communications
Yeah.
and broadcast, and started my first business in 2003. I was making and marketing a product called the Gratitude Cookie as a way for businesses to say thank you to their clients and referral
Yeah.
sources.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and that was Zen Rabbit Baking Company, and then there have been several more iterations of Zen Rabbit. I was teaching networking strategies for a little while before pandemic came along and forced me to make a little bit of a pivot on that business, and then came back to talking about gratitude and how people can stay calm and grounded no matter what's going on around them, which is what I'm doing today.
Awesome, awesome. So whomever is listening right now, you see how we're connected here? Already there's a big link, between the screen. I don't know if you can click that
Yeah.
way, between us, there's something. Being grateful, being zen, being, it's all good. It all comes together when you decide to, right? It's a
Yeah.
decision, don't you think? Like to become zen or to become grateful, it doesn't come out of nowhere. You have to decide. Don't you agree?
I do. You do have to decide. Everything is a decision. Everything is a choice.
Yeah.
I always think of, whenever I'm talking about decisions or choices, I always think of that Rush song. If you There's a line in it: "If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice."
I
And that song always comes to my mind when I'm talking about that. But
love
yes,
that.
it is a decision, and then it becomes a practice.
Mm.
Not everybody is, and I would say most people are not naturally grateful. Like, it's been conditioned out of people. I think people are born grateful. As babies, we are grateful. I don't know how you would measure that, but that's my belief. And then it becomes somehow, all the messages we get as we're growing up, it's conditioned out of us to focus more on complaining and criticizing. And so then it becomes our job, our responsibility, to bring ourselves back to becoming more naturally grateful. And that can be done through practice and through certain exercises.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I call, I did a certification in positive intelligence, and we call that like mental fitness.
Yes.
Is when you go to the gym, in order to build your muscle, you need to lift the weight, you need to do the exercise. And if you go to the gym once and you look at yourself in the mirror and then you say, "Oh, that shit doesn't work," like it's like,
Right.
of course, you go to the gym one time, you're not going to come back with Popeyes, like
Right.
muscles. But if you go consistently, and that's why people take pictures, there's the before and after, because if you don't pay attention, if you just go and you don't have anything to compare, let's say you never took a picture of yourself, and yeah, you'll see a difference, but you will see, well, yeah, no, that's the way I look. But when you look at the before picture and the after picture, and or
Mhm.
should I say, like the before and the after, you're
Right.
tiny, it's like, holy crap, look at this, look at the differences. And that's the same with mental, right? Like the more you practice it, unfortunately, we cannot take a picture of our brain, but it works exactly the same. The more you practice gratitude, the more you practice positivity, the more you practice a different habit, it will show up at the end and you'll become that new person. And then the progression is slow, but it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and changes, you can notice or you can feel changes in within a day. But
Yeah.
like you're saying, to see real change, uh, that is, over time. I think you can see, in terms of measuring, you can see in the results you're getting in your life. Where are
Hmm.
you in life today? And then if you start practicing gratitude and finding more things to be grateful for and focusing on that, look at again your life in a month or 3 months or 6 months, and what do you have in your life now, or what do you not have that you are happy to not have any longer?
Yeah, yeah,
uh that's the snapshot. What do your relationships look like
yeah,
today versus what do they look like in 6 months from now?
yeah, yeah. And the way people see you too, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first started discovering emotional intelligence. That was in the 90s, right? When that come up with
Mhm.
Goldman, that kind of proclaimed it to the world and wrote his book. And I got into the wagon, the emotional
Mhm.
intelligence wagon. And what I found is, and that didn't realize over like overnight, but I changed a lot just with that philosophy, incorporating different principles in my life, becoming 100% responsible for my life at that time. And over time, everything changed. Now I look at myself today And that's why I'm proud to call myself a serenity expert, because all the steps I had done over the years, which I didn't really pay attention, but I look at myself today compared to how I was in the early 90s, it's night and days, right?
Mm-hmm.
My way
Yeah.
of seeing the world, the way I talk to people, the way people perceive me, the way the energy, all of that. I mean, it's just a question of persisting, and keep doing the work that is good for us.
Yeah. And everybody, I mean, unless you're not into growth, which I remember having a mentor commenting that you are either growing or dying. Like those are the two choices in nature.
Yeah.
You're going one way or the other. And so if you're committed to growth, then you will have to be a different and hopefully better version of yourself in a year from now or today from where you were last year or 10 years ago.
So can you talk more about gratitude? I know we brush that off as if it was something very, because for us it's like something we
Yeah.
do every day, right? It's like, you talk to someone that speak only Chinese and say, yeah, speaking English is easy, right? But hey, I've never learned to speak English.
Yeah.
I can't speak English. So talk more, elaborate on gratitude and what it is and how that works and how to have more in someone's life.
Yeah, at the most basic form, gratitude is an energetic vibration.
Okay.
We are all energetic beings and we vibrate at different levels depending on where you are emotionally. And
Okay.
none of those, let's just start with saying like none of the emotional, no, wherever you are on the emotional scale is okay. Like feel the emotions. If you're sad, you're angry, whatever it is, feel those. We're not saying don't feel them. And then take a step, if you want to feel better, to take a step up. So as far as energy vibration, gratitude is at the top with love and joy.
Okay.
And so a lot of times I get asked, well, okay, how do I feel gratitude? Like, what does gratitude feel like?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it feels like joy. A lot of people can relate more to the feeling of joy than gratitude, but they're really intertwined. And so if you want to know more about how to feel gratitude, can you imagine feeling joy? Like complete overwhelming just joy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gratitude feels like. And if you can feel that feeling for the things that you have in your life, the things you've had in the past, the things you have today, and how about feeling gratitude for those things that you're working towards, your goals, your manifestations, your intentions, whatever they are, if you can feel gratitude for them today as if they have already come to you, that is what magnetizes them to you even faster. So a lot of people talk about, having a
But
vision
when you
board.
say that, I can hear people say, but what? You know,
Yeah.
like how can I be grateful for something that didn't happen?
Mhm.
Like like I'm looking into a weekend away, and how can I be grateful for something that's not there? So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, because it is there in a different dimension. It just hasn't shown up in your physical world yet. But if you believe that you are able to have it, then it is already manifested in some dimension. And my philosophy is that you would not have the idea or the thought to have a thing if it was not possible.
Mm.
Like the universe wouldn't give you an idea for a business or a vacation or whatever it is if it was not possible for you to have it. And so feeling gratitude for that thing as if it has already manifested because on some level, again, some energetic level, it already has. And so when you feel, okay, I'm so grateful that it's already here, then it what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes it comes into your world, into your physical world.
Okay, so I'm just trying to play the devil advocate because
Mhm.
I agree with everything you're
I'm
saying.
all good with that.
But let's say you imagine you create a business, right? And you find that you're not able to be grateful for all the new clients that are coming your way, for all the financial help that you'll get from creating that business and all of that. And but does that mean that the business will fail?
why would you not be able to feel gratitude for it?
Because it's not there.
It's not there. Well, but you have to believe, like you have to have the faith that it is on its way and you're grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have the faith, then nothing's going to ever happen. If you go into something going, well, I don't know, maybe I'll half-heartedly try it.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime somebody says to me, well, I'll try to make it to a networking function or a party or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
I'm writing them off because they're not showing up.
Yeah.
Try, go back to Yoda, do or do not. There is no try.
There's no try.
So you have to be 100% in or don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
feeling. Now, you could be 100% in and still not seeing the results.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that they're not on their way. That doesn't mean that they're going to show up tomorrow. I think it comes back to then when you're in that place and you're like, okay, well, where is it? I'm really grateful for the clients I have today, and I would be even more grateful if I had more clients or if I had, more financial success. And so feeling gratitude for what you have
Mm-hmm.
then allows the universe to bring you more. If you can't be grateful for what you have, how are you going to be grateful for more?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And at the same time, what else can you do to help bring what you desire into your physical reality? And I think there we get into asking different questions.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, so how do I do this? Because I've been taught that how is the domain of the universe. That's not our job to figure out the how.
Uh-huh.
I do think it's helpful to ask the questions, what else do I need to know? Who else do I need to meet? What else can I do? And asking those questions allows for different answers to come to you.
Mm-hmm. So I'll put a pause in here right now. So for those that are watching the recording, rewind 1 minute, put your pen and paper down, and write these questions down. Because that was very powerful way to, when you feel like there's nothing happening in your life, if you change the way you ask your questions, that will make a tremendous difference in your results, right?
Yes, and I can give a personal example of this. About 60 days ago, 90 days ago, somewhere around there, I set a goal for myself that's an enormous goal. I've never achieved this before, and I have no idea how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea came to me, so it must be possible. And
Yeah.
I started asking, and I don't mean just asking of myself. I mean, I put it out on social media. This is my goal. Who do I need to meet to help me with this strategy? What needs to happen? And immediately people started showing up saying, hey, do you know this person? Let me introduce you to this person. And I was introduced to somebody who has accomplished what I am saying I want to do and
Yeah.
said, all right, here's the strategy. I've
Yeah.
done it before.
Wow.
So it not only reinforced that it's possible, it's here's what to do to get there. But before that, I had no idea, because how do you know how to do something that you've never done before?
Yeah, and you never
If
known anyone to do it either, right?
right, exactly. And so it's not necessarily going to be something that you can just internet search and find an answer to. But it's about putting it out there
Yeah.
and, maybe in prayers or in meditation, and also in actual asking
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
out
just asking
out in
it
your
because
community.
we've known, like, there used to be that movie years ago, like, what is it, 6 Degrees of
Yes.
Separation? But that was before all the social media and the internet. So now our degrees of separation is so small. We just
Mhm.
have to ask, right? We
Yeah,
just have to put that question out there and to say, hey, who can put me in touch with so and so?
right.
And like right now, I've had a call at in-person networking event with the Chamber of Commerce here in Vancouver, and we were talking about that, and the gentleman was saying, well, I'm 3 handshake from Barack Obama, for example. right?
Yeah.
Like he was like, I know someone that knows someone that knows Barack Obama. So if I ever really needed to talk to him, then I could say, hey, can you lead the introduction and see if I could be connected, right? Like right now, it's so small, the internet, and
Yeah.
also to go back to those questions, what I've practiced and known also is when you go to bed, instead of being on your phone and watching the reels and looking at the news or doing whatever on your phone, put your phone away for, at least an hour before going to bed, and then ask yourself these questions before you go to bed, and with the positive idea that your brain will find the ways. Your brain will connect while you sleep to the web of energy around the earth, and some answers will come to you when you wake up, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that sounds like so crazy woo woo
I
out
know it's
there,
woo woo woo, but it
but
works.
there is science and research behind how that
Yeah.
works. And part of it has to do with like setting a GPS for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're telling it, this is where I'd like to go, it's constantly sending out signals and receiving information based on what you're saying you would like to have. And
Yeah.
so being open to receiving, and this is where you start seeing coincidences and synchronicities showing up, and you're like, where did that come from? I could have never come up with that. Like I would have never thought of that,
Yeah.
but answers are showing up to you because you put it out there
Yeah.
and you had the faith to trust
Mm.
that answers are going to come back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And even initially, I feel if people don't like really think that that's like woo 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 stuff,
Mhm.
which in some ways it is because we don't understand it. If you go to
Right.
the Amazon forest, if you show someone things on your cell phone, image and videos, for them it's like woo 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 because they don't even majority
Yeah.
of people don't know how that works, right?
Right.
Like how
Right.
can I have cell phone reception middle of the wood, like
Yeah.
there's no connection, there's nothing, but we believe, right? We have faith
Right.
that it's working. So that works
Yeah.
the same with your brain waves and somebody else's brain waves and the connection,
Right. You don't have to necessarily understand how electricity works. You flip a switch and the light comes on. That's
and
all
it's
you
like
want.
thank you,
Right.
another thing to be grateful for.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and so since you brought that up, because a lot of times I'll hear from people that are like, "Oh, just my life, nothing is working. I don't have anything to be grateful for." It's a matter of focusing on even the very smallest things. Start there.
Even
Start
being
with
able to have a voice to complain,
yes,
you should be
yes,
grateful for that.
yes. And grateful you woke up this morning, grateful have ears to hear or eyes to see or whatever it is, the
Yeah,
smallest thing, have gratitude for that and start there.
yeah, yeah. Because there are people that, like I remember a good old story of um, a kids that, was complaining all the time and he wanted new shoes and he didn't like his old shoes and this and that. And then they walk in the street and then they see someone in a wheelchair with no legs, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then the mom says, be grateful that you have old shoes to put on your feet. Look at this person, don't even have feet to put shoes on, right?
Right. Right.
It's like, be
Yeah.
grateful, that what you have it, and be grateful even on top of that, that you can walk on those old shoes in order to be able to get where you want to go, right?
Yeah. It's really amazing what you can find to be grateful for when you
Yeah.
start looking.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you get good at it, not even good at it, when you're a novice and you try, you not try, you work that muscle to be
Right.
more grateful, then that's when you can really expand to being grateful for the future, being grateful for, you want a new relationship, well, be grateful for that new relationship right away. Feel the feeling of that energy of being with someone. What would that feel like? With how happy, remember before
Yeah.
when you used to be happy in a relationship, now be grateful for the one that's coming, right? And it's
Right.
amazing the people you'll meet. They'll say, oh, maybe that's him. Oh, that might be him.
Right. Right. It's like practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. And so tell me about what you do. Like, I mean, we talk about gratefulness and Zen Rabbit and all that, but what do you do now? Do you have clients? Do you coach? What is it that, because it's beautiful to talk about all of this, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I do work with people on a private coaching basis. I really like working with groups, and I will be putting together a group program in the next month or so, actually. And right now, I'm most focused on this program I have called Staying Calm in Chaos, which is a digital program. Does not require somebody to engage in my services personally. And so that's what makes it so cool, is because people can take it and listen to it on their own. It's an audio program, 10 sessions, 10 minutes each, comes with 5 meditations as well that are about 10 minutes each. But it's just such a powerful program, and I am so proud of it. And I'm so excited to put it out in the world because I've seen the results that people are getting from it. And so for those people who are, kind of tired of the shit show life that they're living and want to find peace of mind no matter what their circumstances are, because we can't control circumstances, we can only control how we respond to them. Um, Being able to take these tools and techniques and use them to find that peace of mind. Gratitude is one of them.
yeah.
So so it's all in there, and it's just really easy to consume. You know how like a lot of times you'll buy a program and it's 17 hours of study and you're like, oh, I don't have time for
Too
that.
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not this. This is really easy to
Wonderful.
consume.
You mentioned something. You mentioned that you have some meditation recording in there that people can do. But what do you say about people that say, "Oh, I can't meditate. I just sit
Mhm.
there and my brain is going all over the place, and I don't have an hour to meditate." And so, tell more about meditation.
Yes, I hear those things all the time, and I love dispelling those myths and misconceptions. So let's start with one. I'm not good at meditation because I
Mhm.
can't quiet the thoughts in my head. Well, guess what? No one can. You can do it for a short time, and some people can do it for a little bit longer of a time, but we're human. So thoughts are going to come through your head, and you, one, are not your thoughts. But two, that's part of the meditation practice. That's actually when what you do is you notice that you're being carried away by thoughts.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, look at that. There's come back to the sound of the meditation teacher's voice, which is why I really like and appreciate and recommend guided meditations,
Mhm.
especially
Initially.
for
Yeah.
beginners,
Yeah.
because you can bring yourself back to the
Yeah.
sound of the meditation teacher's voice, the music in the background, and even just your breathing, just
Mhm.
focusing on your breathing and coming back. Now, especially in the beginning, again, you may have to bring yourself back every 5 seconds. Oh,
Uh-huh.
thought carried me away. Back into it. Oh, another thought, come back. That refocusing, that practice is what makes you better able to focus on
Mhm.
your work, on your day-to-day
Yeah.
tasks outside of meditation. It's practice. Again, like you go to the gym, you're lifting weights, you're getting stronger in the gym, but you're what you do in the gym makes you stronger throughout the rest of your day as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
You're better able to lift things
Yeah.
or move
Yeah.
things or do that. It's the same way with meditation. Yeah. So that is the uh I'm not good at meditation, thoughts are in my head thing. Like, yes, you're human. Thank you. We all have that. And then what was the other question? The time? What
Yeah.
was the
There's no
time?
time. I don't
There's
have an
no
hour
time.
to sit to do
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. You don't need an hour. That is another misconception. People think, "Oh, I have to sit for an hour and I have to do it cross-legged on a mat."
I can't sit
Like
cross-legged.
a monk, right? Okay, first of all, there's science that proves that 3 minutes a day, as little as 3 minutes a day, has beneficial effects on your physical, emotional, and mental state. So, can you find 3 minutes to start with? Wow, yeah. I mean, who doesn't have if you don't have 3 minutes, I don't even know what to say to you. Um, but
It
the
could
other
be
thing,
it could be even just you go to the bathroom in the morning, close the
right,
door,
yep, as
and
yeah,
breathe, not too
right.
much if it stinks, but do your breathing before you
Right.
go in. And then,
Right.
but you know what I mean, right? You
Yeah.
could
I
just
mean,
sit
as you're
there
making your
quiet, put
coffee
a headphones on, play some music or whatever for
yeah.
3 minutes and be quiet, right?
Yeah. As you're making your coffee or tea in the
Yeah.
morning, whatever it is,
In the
incorporate this
shower,
into your restaurant.
you
Yeah.
know?
Right. Exactly. Um, the other thing is that you don't necessarily have to be sitting. You could be walking
Yeah.
quietly in nature, paying attention to the feel of your feet on the ground,
Yeah.
the sound of the birds. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And getting very focused on the physical sensations. Again, without your electronics,
Yeah.
keep them off. But yes, that, and oh, so back to the time thing too. When you are practicing meditation and you're becoming more focused, it makes you more productive. You're actually investing. So let's say you're doing a task that would normally take you an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
but you've been practicing meditation for a little while and now you are better able to focus and be more productive and be more creative because it stimulates all of these things, and that task only takes you an hour instead of an hour and a half. You just
Mm-hmm.
bought yourself half an hour of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes
That
a big
seems like a
difference.
good investment to me.
Yeah. And what I found also, if I can add on to all of that with meditation, is something that I've been it's been a lot in my mind with the people that I'm surrounded with is spatial awareness,
Hmm.
right? Being aware of your surrounding. So a meditation could just be that. Be
Yes.
aware, like you walk or you drive, right? You're driving. You can meditate while you're driving because, okay, I'm going to pay attention to everything around me. I'm going to see every cars that are around me. I'm going to look at the lights. I'm going to look at the pedestrian. I'm going to be 100, like when you first started driving, you would look at
Yeah.
everything. You would see everything. Go back to that for 5 minutes between, one point to the other. I'm going to be 100% focused on this task.
Hmm.
No music, no talking to anyone, no,
Yeah.
checking my text, like it's like no,
Right.
totally 100% focus on your surrounding. And the more you do that throughout the day, first of all, you'll become more aware of your surrounding all the time, which is a great skill.
Hmm.
And then you will see that you'll get a lot more grounded to where you are at any moment, right? For me, I found
Yes.
that spatial awareness is so important in our society that lives on right away. I need to know that right now. But when you take the time to slow down, you don't have to slow down, but to slow down your brain and
Yeah.
concentrate on one thing. If you're in a presentation, right, and you have to listen to the presenter, or in a meeting with your coworkers and somebody's talking, instead of looking, okay, what time is it and this and that, decide that, okay, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to absorb every single word that person is saying up front and see the difference in how you react afterwards, right? All these
Hmm.
things, I found it's so important. This is
Yeah.
meditation. And
Yeah.
once you've done meditation like I've done for 40 years, these become very easy because it's something that I've done so often, right? Like the muscle, the
R-
more you do it, the more you can narrow your focus and pay attention to whatever's around
Right,
you.
exactly. And the more you do it, the more grounded and calm you're going to be throughout your day, the less likely you're going to be drawn into conflict, which is why practicing meditation on the regular and gratitude helps improve your relationships.
Hmm. Yeah, because if you get in conflict, it's most likely because your spatial awareness is not highlighted because you missed something. You miss the emotional signal from the others that they're upset, and then you step on their toes and then they get even more upset, or you missed the some words that they say and you misunderstood, and then you get it, the conflicts come in, or who knows what,
Mhm.
right? Like there's so many things that gets in, people get into conflict because their lack of awareness of what's going on around them.
Yeah, and they tend to, somebody will say something or do something that will set them off and they will react from
Hmm.
the reptilian part of the brain instead of
Yeah.
responding in an emotionally intelligent way.
Yeah. 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 Cool. So I hope you learned something, people here. You have two wonderful experts here talking with you.
Yes.
So let's see, what else can we talk about in the next few minutes? So yeah, we talk about meditation and how that works and gratefulness. And so do you have any one last tips you could give to people before we go? Because we could talk, we
Yeah,
could
we could.
continue
We
for hours.
could. Yeah, I think both of these concepts need to start from a place of acceptance. Like you mentioned early on about taking responsibility for yourself and for where you are and for where you'd like to
Mm-hmm.
go, because that's all we can control. Each of us can only control ourselves, can't control anyone else, can't control
Yeah.
circumstances are going to happen. And so, how we respond to those, the only thing we have control of is ourselves. And we have to start from a place of acceptance. Like, okay, this is where I am. Even if you absolutely detest and are, heartbroken with where you are, accept this is where I am right now in this moment. Now
Yeah.
what? Now, how do I move forward? Because if you're fighting what happened in the past, like, I wish this hadn't happened. This is terrible. I really hate that this happened.
Can't
You
change it.
can't change it. So
Yeah.
it's an evaluation, whether you're in looking at business results and you're like, okay, this is where we are. Now, what do we do? This is our financial situation. How do we move forward? What do we do to move forward? Um, that starting from that place of acceptance
Yeah.
and taking responsibility for doing whatever you need to do now to move forward. Now what?
Mm-hmm. And as those questions, rewind,
Mhm. Yeah.
rewind the recording if you're watching the replay, and or after
Wh
this is finished, go back to the replay and play those questions and ask yourself those open-ended questions,
Right,
right? Like,
yeah. What
who do I need to connect with that can bring me to the next level? Like, who do I need? What do I need to learn in order to move
Yeah.
forward? Like, ask those questions that are more open to the fact that yes, I want to grow, I want to know more, I'm open to learn more, as opposed to why am I in that shitty situation?
Right.
It's like dragging you down and bringing you to the past,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, and if you're a somebody who's open to journaling, asking those questions in your writing is
Mm-hmm.
is really
Mm-hmm.
effective as well.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and
Thank
and
you.
so then the last piece of this is courage. It's about
Mm.
finding the courage to do the thing that you know you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And visualize yourself 10 years in the future and look at your situation today, and is it as bad as you think it is, right? Or if you have a hard time doing that, look at a hard situation you went through years ago, but in reality you're here today and you went through it and you survived
Yeah.
it and all that, meaning that it gives you a perspective of yes, I can build that courage to move forward because I've done something similar in the past and more things will come in the
Mhm.
future, and it's not so bad. I can do it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
and since you mentioned that, I just gotta say this one other thing about celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate is actually my word for this year, and it's taken me a very long time to get to this point, but I invite everyone who's watching and listening to celebrate even the smallest wins, because like you said, Denise, when you look back, what have you overcome? What have you accomplished to this
Mhm.
point? You have achieved things to celebrate. And now from today moving forward, starting with today, look at what you made it through today. Not only what can you be grateful for, but what can you celebrate, even if
Yeah.
it's the same thing you're grateful for. I got out of bed. What a celebration. Woo. Whatever
Yeah.
it is, celebrate because
Hey, the light's still
yeah,
working,
right. Because
woo!
again,
They haven't cut off the electricity
when
yet.
you when you recognize and acknowledge things to celebrate, more things to celebrate start showing up in your life. It's the yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just, I used to brush things under like
Because it built that spatial
right,
awareness. I go
right.
back to
Yeah,
that,
and I mean,
right?
I think a lot of high achievers like we are tend to brush things under the carpet and go, "Yeah, but, everybody does that. It was nothing. I just so I launched a
Yeah.
podcast. So I, presented
So I've done more
so
than
I
2
did a
years
TED
of,
Talk. So I did a whatever." Like, yeah, like, oh, everybody does that. No, celebrate.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
My
So I'm sure
pleasure.
now a lot of people want to, like, How do I talk to this lady? So here goes. We have here how to reach Lori. Woo-hoo.
Yes. Yes, at my website. My company is zenrabbit.com. And so go to zenrabbit.com. You can reach me there. And then you can also, and we didn't talk about this, but you can find the five easy ways to start living a
Oh, that is my
five
go
five
away,
easy
go away.
ways to start living a sabbatical life, which is a short guide to working less and living better.
Wow, that'll be awesome. So go look for that gift into the Zen Rabbit
Yeah.
website. And then that's how you can also reach Lori if you want to have a chat with her. I'm sure there's a link to book a
Yes,
call
there
with you
is.
or
And
something similar
I
to
mentioned the Staying Calm in Chaos program. That's also available there as well.
wonderful. Well, that's super cool. I think I hope anyway, like I have faith that people that listen to this will be different by the end of our call today, because it's there's ways people to change. There are ways to be happier. There are ways to be more grateful and be more joyful.
Yeah.
And it's just a question of a decision and wanting to do it. And just as you said, take a tiny step, like sure today. Imagine two ladders side by each, and one ladder is between each step of the ladder is that big, right?
Mhm.
So the next step is right there and right there. And then that's the first ladder. The second one, each step are that big. It's the same ladder, right? So, but celebrate those time. It's a lot
Yep.
easier when you take baby step than when you try to take big leap. You know, so
Yeah.
celebrate the baby step. Take the time to create those baby step for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to acknowledge that anybody who is open to making changes, it is not always easy. So
Mhm.
this is why it requires courage and sometimes somebody to help you to encourage you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lori. Just stay there
Thanks for
in the
having
background.
me.
I'll be back with you. I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
And it was such a pleasure to continue that discovery of each other, because we haven't known each other for very long, but I think we'll be friends forever.
Absolutely. My
So just,
pleasure to be here.
you're very welcome. Just stay there. Wow, I hope you enjoyed this episode and get a lot out of it. There's so much gem in here about awareness, about becoming a better person, and it's all about you. It's for you, it's your gift. And I had some talk this week with other wonderful people about self-care, and everything we talked about today is about your self-care. Really, it's about how can you um, be better with yourself and bring so much more joy and love to yourself. And once your cup is full, it's just going to radiate all around you. So I want to bring also a gift that I have for you, because I've been working with also empty nesters for the last little while, and about helping them build an exit strategy from being a full-time parent. So I encourage you just to download this checklist and discover a little bit. And even if you're not an empty nesters, and if you need more, if you feel that your nest is empty, meaning that you need more in your life that you have. It doesn't have to be that your kids have left the house, but sometimes we feel lonely, we feel alone. And I encourage you, go to the starting over checklist, and I'll support you into doing a whole bunch of what we talked today, how to move out of the rut that you're in, and how to become more joyful and peaceful. And again, subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com /at Denise Belisle. And if you want to have a talk with me, it's tiny.cc /talk with Denise. So I hope you have enjoyed this show. I invite you to watch many more episodes on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, click on the little bell to be notified when there's more. And until next time, practice your gratitude, practice being happy. It's a muscle that if you haven't built it yet, you can do it. And we're here to support you. So until next time, be kind to one another. Goodbye.